Hey guys, this is Grace and welcome to the first process video for our new series, Use those cut files. I'm showing you the things that I am going to be using here. I cut out this uh, frame, or no, not frame, but wreath from a paper issues cut file, and it says I love you more than all the stars, and it has the scripty word, and then it also has the stars in between. So one thing that I really love about die cuts, or cut files I should say, is that you can make it as big or as small as you want. And so for this particular one, I kept it the same size, and it goes around a 12 by 12 page. Now I love the bold and big title, but I also kind of wanted to um, dress it up, and so that's what I'm going to do here. I have the striped colorful pattern paper. I think that's from Simple Stories, and then this wood grain paper, and that's going to be my background. Now after I lay that, I'm going to do a trick that I've seen a lot of card makers do, and that is to use the negative space of a stencil, or in this case of a die cut, so that you can place the letters perfectly onto your page. Because this is a circle element, it's a circle design, I was afraid that if I kind of winged it, that I will have a hard time with the placement of all of those letters. And I wanted to make sure that I have that perfectly. So what I did was I adhered the negative space or negative piece onto my background, and then I used some glue, liquid glue, and then adhered all of those letters onto that. And then for the stars, as you can see, I colored them in the rainbow color. So I haven't taken out um, the stencil, or the negative space I should say, because I wanted to make sure that the stars are also perfectly aligned there. So once I've adhered all of those stars, then this is the result. And so I'm just showing you that when I pulled it out, part of the eye, part of the background piece kind of pulled away because I was using liquid glue, and so it had some of that. And I'm going to try to maybe cover that up, but you'll see that I eventually embraced that kind of boo-boo here. So I have two pictures, and the pictures are of me and my kids for Mother's Day of this year. I had wanted to document that, of course, with the people that call me mom. So that's why I had my husband take pictures of us, and they are printed as, I think it's 3 by 5, I want to say, or 3.5 by 5, something like that. So they're a little bit smaller than your normal 4 by 6 photo. So that's why it fit perfectly in the center of the circle. And then I added a few more pattern papers in the background. Now my journaling, because as you can see, the title is pretty bold and it occupies a big space on my layout, that I cut my, or I planned my journaling to go as strips and kind of as a border to my page. And so I'm going to add that on the four sides of my layout, and that's going to be my journaling. And I'm just journaling about how I am very lucky to be a mom, and to be called mother by these three kids. So I had some extras. Excuse me, I have some extra stars from a different die cut, or a different cut file, and so I wanted to kind of add a few more interest to the sides of the page, and so I grabbed those stars. And then I have this Mother's Day stamp from Inspired by Stamping, and I am going to stamp some words on those stars. And so another thing that you might want to consider when you have a cut file is to dress it up with, like, especially if they're just plain um, shape like the star, to dress up the centers with some stamping. And so I stamped from the heart, love ya, and then happy Mother's Day. Because it is white, it just looked a little bit plain to me, and so I'm going to add a little bit more color to that. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you the colors that I used. They're all Distress inks, by the way, and these are the colors that I used for all those stars that go in the title, as well as the one that I used for these stars right here. So they're mustard seed, spice marmalade, picked raspberry, festive berries, peacock feathers, twisted citron, mermaid lagoon, shaded lilac, dusty concord, and then this particular one that I am putting on the stars is abandoned coral. So those are the colors that I've used in case you guys are interested. I have really loved kind of mixing my card making stash with my scrapbooking. It's been fun. And I love how this layout turned out. It incorporated the trendy, use of cut files, but at the same time, I had enough room to put photos and journaling as well. And also, I loved how, using the negative space helped me to perfectly align the words on my layout. So now I'm just adhering everything now. I love how the design looks, and so I'm going to commit and adhere everything. I'm using some glue dots to adhere those stars, and I started with the stars first because there is a gap on the top left of my page between the journaling strips and the corner of that spot. So I want to make sure my stars are on there first before I adhere the strips of journaling. And that's gonna do it. I am going to add a couple more rhinestone here in a few minutes just to add a little bit more or design to my page. But I can see us being able to use this technique with all sorts of cut files, especially like if they're small ones, or if you want them in specific spots of your layout as well. Before I add the rhinestone, I have to add a title, I mean not title, but a date. And so I use these tiny letter stickers from Teresa Collins, and it's just going to spell out May 2017. And after that, I'm going to have rhinestones added to the corners of the layout, and then also to close to where the big stars are located. So if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment section below. I will have a link to where I got this free cut file, which is Paper Issues. If you are interested, that's going to be in the description below as well. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section below, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.